Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to episode number 26 of the FPL Family. My name is Lee. This is Sam. And yet again, Sam, we have an absolutely incredible weekend of FPL action to talk about. But before we get to...
Sorry about that random stupid picture that Lee thinks is appropriate.
Why sorry about that? Why are you apologising for that?
Has it got anything to do with FPL?
Yes, because Liverpool blanked this weekend and everyone was talking about how they're going to manage the blank. So the World Club Cup has got massive importance to FPL.
So if you'd have lost, would you have put the picture up?
100% no.
Right.
100%.
Sorry about that, everyone.
You can't apologise. Liverpool are out there representing the UK, winning international tournaments.
Some tin pot trophy against some random team from Mexico and Argentina. Pointless.
Never you mind. As you've already gathered, guys, Sam is in a bad mood tonight. There is bad mood vibes going on. I can tell when you're in a bad mood. Bad mood vibes going on right now. We're going to talk about... Oh my God, we're going to talk about Hyun Son Min. We're going to talk about... Dele Alli. We're going to talk about Kane. We're going to talk about Spurs. But there's so much to talk about.
But we won't talk about Liverpool.
We absolutely should talk about Liverpool.
We don't talk about
in the context of... Who are you going to bring back in now? Because everyone's going to be transferring Son out, right? Son is going to drop like an absolute stone. And I have to say, I was devastated when I saw that. As soon as it goes to VAR, you know it's a red. You 100% know it's a red. And you see the little kick out, there's intent. You can't do that anymore. Stupidest thing I've seen today, other than the Gazaniga Kung Fu kick on Alonso. Two of the stupidest things I've seen today. But anyway, we're going to talk about Spurs a bit later on. Two things firsts that have happened. The one is Liverpool World Club Champions. Yes.
Absolute balls.
Yes, well, never mind champions of Europe, champions of the world. First time ever Liverpool are champions of the world.
That's because no one cares about this stupid...
Of course they care about it. What are you talking about? World champions, Sam.
No one cares apart from you.
Right, Flamengo had a whole of a continent behind them.
That's because they care.
Right.
No one in Europe cares about this nonsense.
Not having this. World champions, Liverpool. The other first that happened this weekend...
No, this is useful.
Get in your nuclear bunkers, hold your loved ones, stock up on bread and milk because Miguel Almiron has scored a goal. And in my favourite moment of possibly the last few months, maybe even the whole season, got booked for celebrating. The poor guy. He's taken so long to score a goal. And when he does, he gets booked for celebrating. You can't blame the guy.
No, in fact, I'd have been disappointed in him if he did.
Correct, yes, correct. Had he not got booked for over-celebrating, it'd have been a bit of a disappointment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if he'd have just gone, come on, lads, and then run back to the centre circle.
Yeah, all right, G him up, whatever. Wouldn't it have been so
Yeah.
disappointing if they were like 3-0 down and he got the consolation? But no, got the winner. Even to the detriment of Gaeta, which we've got to talk about later on. What, Miguel Almiron?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Go on, off you go.
Of course not, absolutely not. Don't be ridiculous. So, guys, loads to talk about this weekend. Loads and loads to talk about. Man City, Leicester, of course, we've got to talk about that. And the way that Man City stamped their authority on that game. Stamped their authority. We've got to talk about Norwich look fantastic for first half. Absolutely should have been 3 or 4-0 up against Wolves. And then somehow lose the game in the second half because Wolves completely turned it around in the second half. Of course, we've got to talk about Spurs and Chelsea at some stage. We've got to talk about that. And, of course, we've got to talk about the fact that United get to Watford and lose 2-0. The revolution under Pearson, well and truly alive. And I'll tell you what, loads of people predicting that. Loads of people predicting that Watford would work hard, get the goal, play the low block and dig in and work hard. And they did against Manchester United. And Man United didn't have any answers.
But did you...
Go on.
In no world did I think that Watford would win that. I thought they might dig in and they might get a point.
Okay.
But at no point had it crossed my mind that United would get nothing from that game.
Well, listen, United...
No goals, nothing.
We know what they play like. They play the counter-attack. And it wasn't until Juan Mata came on, should have started that game, Juan Mata, because that is the exact sort of game where they need a bit of creativity. All right, he hasn't got the legs anymore, I get that, but a bit of creativity. We can talk about Manchester United, Watford a bit later on. Probably going to get more than 42 seconds on Watford. Possibly. Joe will be very happy. Yeah, I know. Take a sip of tea, calm yourself down.
I'm holding on to my chair.
Might even be a whole minute of Watford tonight. Who knows? Who knows? But before we get on to any of the games, guys, and of course we'll be talking about our teams and we'll be talking about the December Manager of the Month for the Patreon League as well as an update there as well. Before we get to any of that, go to the polls, the poll questions this evening. Little white eye above my head. 3 questions from the Twitter community as well as one that I chucked in there for the Gameweek 19 captain. Not always a question that we put in, but given that we've got such a short turnaround between now and next game week on Boxing Day, which is, remind me, Thursday? So we've got games on Thursday.
One game throws into Friday though, doesn't it?
I think there's a Friday game, yes. I think it actually might be Liverpool.
No, you're the night game on Boxing Day. I think it's Man City.
Is it? Okay. I've blown away by all these fixtures.
I think it's Man City.
Either way, it's a short turnaround.
Yeah.
And we haven't got necessarily time to talk about
Quicker
game
for
week
us.
18.
Last game this weekend, first game on Boxing Day.
Tell me about it. A game that we're going to, actually.
Bit unfair, isn't it? Bit unfair, that.
You're such in a mood. You're such in a mood.
It's a bit unfair, that, isn't it? Last game on Sunday. First game on...
All right. Calm down.
It's a bit unfair, though, isn't it?
Calm down. Have a sip of tea.
But don't you think it's
Get
unfair?
yourself calm. It's really unfair, Sam. It's really unfair that we had to forfeit the Carabao Cup because football couldn't fit the amount of fixtures in. But never mind. We are the world champions, Sam. We're the world champions.
I think the Carabao Cup is actually better than the World Champions.
Oh, shut up.
If I was thinking I've got it wrong, I think you should have put a team out in the Carabao Cup.
The Carabao Cup is better than being world champions. Are you having a laugh? You having a laugh?
I don't really see the point of the World Cup thing. Didn't even know it existed until you were going to play in it.
We need to stop the stream right now. I can't. I'm going on FPLFYI tomorrow with Rambo.
But the thing is,
I cannot wait.
I've just got to wind you up. That's the only way to get around this stream because I'm in a bad mood. So the only way to improve my mood is basically to wind you up. Because I'll find that funny.
Well, we're going to talk about the games. We'll talk about our teams, all that sort of stuff. We'll do the polls and everything.
And to make matters worse, I've gone out the cup.
Oh no, have you?
I've gone out the cup because blimmin' Jorginho come off his bench for 1 point.
Right, Sam, you did right.
I'm really angry about
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. I'm going to talk about the polls. When we come back from the polls, we're going to talk about Spurs and Sheffield.
We're not.
We are going to talk about
No, I'm going to leave.
We also need to talk about a massive slice of jamminess that you had this week, which we're going to talk about. You might have even forgot about it because it was Saturday, but the jammiest of assists from a goalkeeper that you will ever talk about.
No.
And I'm not having it.
I think you'll find that he aimed the ball.
Oh, don't you even give me that. Not having it.
The ball was passed deliberately to that player, and therefore, it is an assist.
Question one in the polls, guys.
And some bonus points.
Question one in the polls comes from Rushil Joshi. Thank you, Rushil, for the question. No, he doesn't actually. Rushil, no, I'm on the wrong set of questions. That's last week, Rushil. But
Rushil, you're just getting a random shout out
Rushil getting random shout outs. And to be fair to Rushil, does come up with some pretty damn good questions every single week. But actually didn't pick his actually this week. Instead, I've gone for Azzy. So Aaron, thank you for the question. This is from Twitter, from the Twitter community. So Aaron, thank you for the questions. He says, with so many players close to a ban, and of course we saw Diego Rico get the ban, so he's now not able to play in game week 19 along with Son and a few others. But with so many players close to a ban, which of these are you most nervous about losing? Lundstram, Sterling, Grealish or Trent Alexander-Arnold? All of which have got to get through one more game without a booking, and then the slate is wiped clean. So out of those 1, 2, 3, 4, out of those 4, which are you most nervous about picking up that booking in game week 19 and therefore missing out in 20? Lundstram, Sterling, Grealish or Trent Alexander-Arnold? Thank you for the question, Azzy. Next question comes from Nick Khan. Thank you, Nick, for the question. If you could only bring in one of either Salah or Mane back from game week 19, who would you choose? And it actually says who would you choose and why. So who would you choose, Mane or Salah? Get in the polls, answer that question, and then get in the live chat comments as well. Talk to me about, and if you're watching the replay, get in the comments. Who are you bringing in, Mane or Salah, and why? I want to know why. And I think that is even more, I mean, that was 4 hours ago, that question. I think it's even more relevant now because Son is going to drop like a stone. People are going to transfer him out. 3-game ban for Son. 3-game ban.
But it's violent conduct.
And he has to get a 3-game ban. So there's going to be now a complete rampage to either Salah or Mane. And I think it's a real coin toss between the two.
Something's just bitten me.
Something's bitten you. I'm trying to think of a random segue between Salah and Mane that could go with that, but I can't. So I'm just going to move on.
They don't normally bite.
Third question comes from Kiddos. Thank you, Kiddos. He says, buy, sell or hold on Wilfried Zaha.
Oh.
Now, Crystal Palace looked pretty inept at the weekend. Not for the first time in the last few weeks. And of course, Zaha didn't get the goal. He did get a goal last game week in game week 17. But again, another blank for Zaha in 18. So probably could have and maybe should have blanked in 17 as well. It was a worldy goal that he scored in 17. But 18, of course, gets the blank. What are you guys doing with Wilfried Zaha? Is he a buy or a sell or a hold? And I think the hold is in there because actually the fixtures
are still nice.
continue to look good. So he's difficult to sell.
He's one of them. It's annoying.
It's an annoying one, isn't it? It's an annoying one. So those are the 3 questions, guys. Little white eye above my head. Get into the poll questions, answer those 3, and also tell us who is your Game Week 19 captain. All your favourites in there. I've probably even missed 1 or 2 because Game Week 19, again, is pretty open. There's actually some nice fixtures in Game Week 19, and we'll be looking all over for our captaincies, right? I think one of the options I put in there, by the way, given that I did it some while ago before the Spurs game, is Son/Ali. So if anyone
just read as Ali.
just read it as Ali. Forget Son.
Or add Kane instead of Ad.
Forget that.
Just before we start, just a quick shout out to Aaron Chan, our patron, who got married this weekend.
Oh, yes, congratulations to Aaron Chen. Yeah, absolutely. Got married, I think, yesterday.
I think it was yesterday. Well, it's Australian time, isn't it? So
this weekend,
sometime over the weekend.
Sometime over the weekend.
I can't quite work out what day of the week it is over there.
Congratulations to Aaron for getting married.
And his wife, of course.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely sensational stuff. So well done, mate. Well done. Let's get on to... Oh, well, let's say hello to a few people. Shall we? There's our Twitter on the left-hand side, at FPL Family. Let's see who is in this evening. Kun Karam is here. Karam, how are you doing? Cantwell versus Villa, he says. Now, Cantwell popped up with another... Well, not another, but a 10-pointer this game week, which was very, very welcome for his owners, including myself. And actually, Villa, who we'll come to a bit later on, one win in God knows how many games. Since game week 9, I think, Villa.
They got problems now with no McGinn.
No McGinn, no Mings. It feels a bit like Grealish or nothing, not just in FPL, but from a Villa perspective as well. They're all looking to him to do something. And he did pull off a worldie, so if you've got Grealish this week, fair play, you get some points. But not a lot of that performance that's making me think I want to back Villa. And instead, I would go with Kun Karam, who is saying actually Cantwell and indeed Pookie, who missed a couple of gilt-edged chances at the weekend. I think they're nice picks now. I think they're nice picks against that Villa side. Let's see who else is here. Andrew Yee is here. How are you doing, Andrew? Very nice to see you. FPL Prince, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Richarlison at home to Burnley with Ancelotti in charge. It's time, he says. It's time.
It is not time.
I tell you what, we're talking of time, we're going to spend absolutely no time talking about Arsenal versus Everton at the weekend. That was a really, really diabolical game, wasn't it? Just a dull affair. 2 teams that you could tell did not want to get off to a losing start with new managers. I know they're in the stands or whatever, right? But neither of them wanted to lose that game, and you could tell it was 0-0. It was pretty dire.
I can't buy this Richarlison thing.
Didn't really like the game.
It.
We'll talk about them a bit later on, maybe, if we've got time. Unlikely. Let's see who else is in. I've just noticed that our camera on the OBS is actually a little bit... I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to move that over because I get my host...
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is live in play.
This is a problem.
Technical, because I can't...
What are you doing?
I'm doing that because I couldn't deal with the fact that it was overlapping with the camera, so now there's a little bit of a gap there now. Hopefully that looks a bit better, guys. Joe Finley Batter is in. Good evening to all the United fans, he says. Good evening to all the United fans. Joe obviously...
Joe's been looking forward to having a good result, hasn't he, so he can come on and...
Exactly, yes, absolutely.
Dig him back.
Rohit Shingade is here. Lundstrom, captain versus Watford. I'll tell you what, not necessarily an easy game now for Sheffield United. Watford... Bit of a new manager bounce.
It's 2 games in a row they've looked for.
FPL Trophies here. Mo is in. How are we doing? Hayley Inside says, how you doing, Mo? Very nice to see you. Eltel is in. How are we doing, Eltel? Azzy is here, who asked the question in the poll. Thank you for the question, Azzy. Very nice to see you. Josh is in. I'm moderating Josh. How are we doing? Liam Healy.
He's probably as bad as me.
I'd imagine he is.
Yeah.
I would imagine he is. Liam Healy is here. How are we doing, Liam? Gaz Temple is in. He says, hate this game. Gaz just says, hate this game.
You don't.
Come on, Gaz.
You don't.
This is why you tune into FPL Family, because you can come and commiserate with FPL Family. Come on, Gaz. This is why we're here, mate. Come on.
I hate actual football sometimes.
Yeah.
But not the game.
You can't hate FPL.
You can't hate the game.
Hate the player, not the game.
Hate the players, not the game.
Gaz, hate yourself, not the game.
I hate Son right now.
Hate Son. Exactly right. Exactly. Steve Wynyard is in and super chatting. He says,
hello, Steve.
He says, Sam, my mood is worse than yours.
My
mood
Steve.
is worse than yours.
We'll commiserate together later.
And I think I saw a super chat before. I'm going to scroll back and I hope that I haven't forgotten
there
it.
it is.
Yeah, here it is. Another hoops. How are we doing another hoops? Son to Salah. Done. It's done already.
Ooh.
Game week 19 cannot come quick enough, he says. Son to Salah, rage transferred, in and done. Another hoops is saying.
Tell you what,
absolutely love it.
After today, I don't think I've ever been glad, or more glad, to have a wild card sat in my back pocket.
And do you know what? I think you're spot on with that comment. This is one up for the wild carders. If you saved your wild card with a view to playing it, ready for game week 19,
never been so pleased.
And do you know what? A lot of people thinking, I'll play it because I want to bring Liverpool players back in. All of a sudden, you can fix that problem if you see it as a problem. You've got the Son problem. People have got
going off slight problem.
Yeah,
KDB,
maybe a
what's up with him?
bit of cramp maybe for Tammy and KDB. I wouldn't be too concerned, but let's hold out for those.
Rico suspended.
Those of you with Pulisic, how do you feel about Pulisic? If you've got Grealish, you're holding on to him because Villa look bad. Loads and loads to sort out, I think.
I'm going to have a keeper
Rashford,
change
if you've got Rashford, a problem now?
Keeper change as well.
Okay.
I mean,
so
not obviously the legend that is Dino, but
Dino Henderson.
Heaton's on the cards, but
okay, all right, okay.
but Hendo is for life.
And tell me how you feel about this live wildcard activation on stream tonight. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I'll do it tonight.
Yes, excellent. So guys, look out for that. Once we've talked about our teams for Game Week 18, we will get straight into Sam's wildcard. We're going to hit the button live on stream.
Whoa. I'm going to hit the button. You're not touching that button.
If you want to come over here and potentially mess about with pulling cables out of things...
You're not touching the button.
I'm not sure if I want to put you in charge of this.
You're not touching my wildcard button.
Well, if you press the button and I'll do the transfers, how do you feel about that?
I'm not sure about that either. You'll put someone random in.
Sam may or may not be doing live transfers this evening, guys.
I'll be doing it. I'll come and sit over there. You can come and sit over here, the cheap seats.
Gail Scheller is in. Hello, Gail. How are you doing? He says 72 points this game week.
Give that man a clap.
Ings captain, Sam. Ings captain. Absolutely sensational stuff. So a whole host of you guys, and thank you very much for joining us. 468 in already. There's our Twitter on the left-hand side, at FPL Family. Also, same handle, at FPL Family over on Instagram, if you fancy going and following Sam over there. At FF Scout _ as well, if you want to follow Fantasy Football Scout on Instagram, where Sam is behind that Insta as well. So, bit of an FPL Instagram takeover from you, by the way.
Take it over social
media.
media.
Social media
One
Instagram
channel
takeover.
at a time.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Right, so let's talk about and let's get into these fixtures. I need to find the right window. Here we are.
I know.
Let's get into the fixtures. That's Fantasy Football Scout. These are the fixtures. Doing a quick refresh on here. I think it was up to date anyway. So let's have a look. Right. I'm going to ask you. How do you want to play this? You want to go first? Want to get this out of the way? Or should we talk about Liverpool a bit more? Come on, what do you want to do? Where would you like to start, Sam?
Just deal with it, and
Let's
then it's done.
Let's deal with it.
And then you can stop being...
Being what?
So, we're World Cup champions, mug.
Listen, I'm just as devastated as you are. Captain Son this game week. Petulant, stupid... I don't know what else there is to say. And to be honest, 3-game ban. If you've got him, you're going to be transferring him out. I don't think we need to talk too much about the Son Heung-min plan, right? If you've got him, he's a goner. It's who you bring in, I think, is the plan. What about the other Spurs assets then? And you can give us your view on the game, but let me just give a little bit first of all, and then you can go in on me, right? So I've been saying on here for a few weeks that Spurs have been playing very, very well, but potentially flattering to deceive a little bit, because some of the teams you've played, I always go back to that first game. I've never seen a worse performance than West Ham in Mourinho's first game. It was absolutely diabolical. Then it was Olympiacos away. You went 2-0 down to probably the worst side in that group, and of course you pulled it back, so fair play. Burnley was 5-0. You look convincing, no doubt about it. Burnley were poor, but 5-0. I can't say anything about 5-0. It's very, very good. I think the game before that was Man United. United played well. You got beat. You come up against the Chelsea side today, and I must admit, I thought Frank Lampard, give him his due, tactically superb today. As soon as I saw that team sheet, I thought, 3 at the back, what's he doing? 3 at the back. But actually what he did was, he focused on Mason Mount, put an absolute shift. He run his socks off in the middle of the park today, and every time that Eric Dyer or Sissoko got the ball, he was on them like a shot. As was Kante, not giving those guys any space to turn and to find a pass into the front 3, the front 4. So what happened was, it'd go back to Alderweireld, it'd go back to Vertonghen, they'd look for that big diagonal ball, and with 3 centre-halves at the back, it's going to be very hard, regardless of who you've got up there, Son and Kane and anybody else, it's going to be hard for anyone to win the ball and hold it up against those 3. So tactically, I thought Chelsea were absolutely spot on today. Second half, Spurs were better, but then of course Son gets sent off, and I think Chelsea take their foot off the gas and they accept the 2-0, and it's a bit like a training game. So how do you feel about... I mean, there's people that are doubled up. There's people that have got Ali and Son and even Aurier. People are trebled up. How do you feel about this going into what on paper looks like a good game? Brighton at home. You're holding Ali and you're holding Son now. I assume Son's got to go, but how do you feel about Ali and all the others from an FPL perspective?
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Utterly,
that's fine. You're allowed to think.
Utterly wrong.
Go on.
I think you are utterly wrong. We've got games against Brighton, Southampton, all right, then Liverpool. But you don't keep clean sheets. There's goals in those games.
So how you think that? So the Brighton game, I think is tougher than it otherwise might look on paper. Unreasonable form. Potter's got them playing some nice stuff. Morpay's playing very, very well.
I've never said that defensively we're good. In fact, I always say the complete opposite. We're gettable at defensively. That for me isn't an issue. I think the attackers. I cannot see your point about Dele Alli. I can't see how you. I can't buy into that at all.
He was dropping very deep today to come and get involved in the play.
He's going to have to, aren't he? Because we're behind.
Well, Kane was not dropping quite as deep, but Dele Alli was dropping very deep to get involved.
Because he has to when the Chelsea team are playing as they are.
Okay.
So I think that's got more to do. Brighton won't play like that. Brighton will not come and play like that against Spurs. They just won't. Chelsea, Frank got it. You were right.
How do you think Brighton will play?
They won't play as aggressively as Chelsea did. Chelsea came to win that game, and credit to them. I thought they were great, and I thought Frank had it absolutely right.
Do you think Brighton will sit and play the low block then?
I think Brighton will not defend as well as Chelsea did.
Right.
I don't see them defending as well as Chelsea did, and I can see us getting more opportunities from the Brighton defence than we would when we got from the Chelsea defence today.
Okay.
I can see goals for Brighton. If you've got Morpay, for God's sake, playing against Spurs, because we can't defend. We've not been able to defend all season. We did look better against Burnley. We looked better against Bournemouth. But defensively, we're not solid. The defenders, when they're playing well, but I think the thing is with Spurs is we are very much a confident side. And Chelsea came out and it was a fairly quick start from them. And it affects Spurs, and we are that sort of team where I think the confidence at the beginning part of the season was kind of the end of Pochettino's reign. The confidence was very much at an all-time low, and I think for me it's noticeable with Spurs is that there is that when they go behind in a game, it's very hard to pull it back because the confidence drops, and then you get silly mistakes. Ali getting in a fight is ridiculous. Son kicking out, ridiculous. Gazaniga, I don't know what he's thinking. They just do silly things because they feel like they need to, I don't know, make amends, do something to kind of. But I think attacking wise, I don't see that there is an issue. Lamela should be back. He was talking about Lamela being back, not for Chelsea, but potentially for Brighton, definitely for Southampton. So if Lamela's back for the midweek game, then I was going to say it doesn't matter that we don't have Son. Of course it matters that we don't have Son because it's Son. But it's not like we're clutching at straws for somebody else to play. We've got another one to play there. I think that our issue for a while now has been that those holding spots, and I just don't think Eric Dyer and Sissoko had it right today. That was the problem. They just weren't controlling the mid, and as a result of that, Dele was having to come back.
Okay, let's just carry on talk about that in a second. We've just had a super chat come in, so it's a couple of super chats we've got to address. So let's talk about these. Hopefully I've not missed that one that's at the top there. Let's see. Oh goodness me, I might have missed it. Can we go back to it? Here we go. From Steve. Thank you, Steve. Which one of these, Son to Ali, Son to Maddison, Son and Rashford to Morpay and Salah, already have Mane?
Son and Rashford to who? Morpay and who?
Well,
Salah?
there's lots and lots of options in here, but basically there's a lot of talk about Son to who. And I think if you've not got Ali, given the fixtures look all right, I think Son to Ali is okay, Steve. Son to Maddison with Liverpool up next, who knows? Son and Rashford to Morpay and Salah. Son and Trent to Salah and a 5.1 defender. So lots and lots of talk there from Steve about what he's going to do with Son and whether he's going to spend 4 points, etc. If you were in that position right now and you had a straight swap Son to who?
Son to Ali versus Brighton looks good to me.
Okay.
I think that looks decent. I don't see. So if Liverpool had anybody else next week, I would potentially have gone go with the Salah one. But if you're going to take a hit on it to make 2 changes as a result of it, then you've got really hard. That game against Leicester, it's really difficult. You've been abroad. It's a long trip back. You've got to play again on Thursday evening against a Leicester side who are now wounded as a result of the game this weekend. They will want to win that
trickier,
game.
Isn't it?
It's hard. It's a
trickier.
really hard game. So I think if you're wildcarding, it's different. But if you're just making a transfer or 2 transfers and it's going to involve a hit, I would probably go with probably go with Ali.
All right, thank you, Steve. And another super chat from the Little Chicken. It's a new name. We've not had the Little Chicken in before.
What a cute name.
The Little Chicken. Is 4 mil too much to have in the bank? Should I upgrade someone? And then he's got his team, or he or she has got his team in there.
I've got 4 million in the
How
bank.
do you feel about having 4 million in the bank?
That's what I've got at the moment.
It seems all right, right? I've got no problem with that. If you feel like you've got the right picks, Little Chicken. Don't see any problem with having 4 million in the bank.
Name. I've got 4 in the bank at the moment because I downgraded Mane to Son, and I'd already had 2 in the bank. It does feel a little bit weird. I've got that. I think that's the right way of putting it. I feel a bit uneasy about it. But the positive thing about it is, obviously, it means you can pretty much go anywhere from anybody. So any issues, any problems, like if you own Son and he's now suspended, or you own, somebody who's got injured or whatever, you can pretty much go wherever you like with it. So it does allow you to have some flexibility. And there are so many good cheap players out there right now that maybe you don't need to spend the whole budget.
Yeah, okay, all right. And we've got a hot off the press breaking news from Gaz Temple. Son to Sterling, just done it. Just done, Son to Sterling. Deal done. I don't even know, but he's done the deal. Just to go back and finish up on Spurs, last word on Spurs, I think you're spot on with what you said about the midfield. There's a lot of talk about Spurs defensively and, whether they're any good or not and what's happening with the fullbacks. There's a lot of talk about their forward line and Lamella coming in or out, and I understand all of that. But I think the piece that needs focus is that middle. Yeah. There's no doubt that Dyer and Sissoko, they could not get the ball, turn and pick a pass. No. And Chelsea didn't let them do that today. But from what I've seen in previous Spurs performances, those two sometimes struggle with that. Yes. I think it was crying out for a Harry Winks today. Yeah. Absolutely crying out for a Harry Winks.
And he was back on the bench today, and I think he'll be back for Brighton. And I think the other problem is that their game got harder, obviously, in the second half because it was Eriksen in the mid. So the holding thing was just not happening.
Eriksen did make a difference because he come in there and he can receive spin and make a pass. So that did make a difference.
But I do feel like when we've got that many attacking players, we look even more vulnerable. I'm surprised we didn't concede again, to be quite honest.
So from an FPL perspective, you've got just Ali. You're happy to stick with just Ali, given the fixtures are pretty good, right?
Yeah. I'm going to lose Son, obviously. I was happy to have both of them through the fixtures, but obviously with Son where we are now, there's no one else that I really think I definitely want that Spurs player, so I'll just hold Ali and go through the nice run with him. I think he could be really good in this run. He's going to have to be, let's be honest, without Son.
All right, very, very good. Another super chat from Toxic Fusion. Thank you, Toxic Fusion. He says, I love the new setup. Background looks great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to get a new picture that says Champions of the World, Toxic Fusion. Get a new picture.
You're intolerable tonight.
Enough of Spurs. Chelsea then. Chelsea look very, very good. Tactically very, very good.
Yeah, Tomori with a clean sheet the week I take him out.
And a bonus point, no less.
For God's sake. A bonus point?
Yes, a bonus point. So Chelsea look... No, because that will...
For those of you that are listening to us on the pod, I just slammed my teacup on the table.
Yes, but that's right next to the very, very sensitive microphone, and it made a nice boom in everybody's headphones.
Everyone.
So Chelsea looking very, very tactically astute. Mason Mount I thought was the best player on the pitch, no doubt about it.
He did play really well.
Tammy Abraham down with a bit of, and off with a bit of cramp, I think. Nothing more, I don't think. Although let's keep an eye on that.
Watch it.
And he did run himself into the ground. All of that Chelsea team put in an absolute shift. Willian, I noticed on Fantasy Football Fix, is absolutely shooting through the roof in terms of transfers in overnight. So, of course, he gets the 2 goals. Have we all been sleeping on this guy? Should we be looking at Willian? Isn't he 7.0? And he's been very, very good. His underlying stats have been pretty good. He's passing the eye test week in, week out. It takes 2 goals for us to all go, hold on a minute, we should be bringing him in.
It's a bit of an unsexy pick, I think, this one. I feel like Willian is...
What's unsexy about Willian? Bit of Brazilian flair.
Okay.
Just because he's the wrong side of 30 doesn't make him not sexy. Come on.
You said that, not me. I think that there are...
You're not feeling it.
No,
You're not feeling
I'll
it.
put him in the corner with Richarlison.
All right, and if you were a Pulisic owner, got to go, isn't he? Or has he had his rest and he comes back in at home to Southampton?
Well, I said this to you. I think he plays. He's had a rest. I think he plays against Southampton.
Okay. So you'd keep if you had him?
Well, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Because he's been rubbish. And as I spouted off stats all week about him not having scored more than 4 for Dortmund, he's already got that now. So that's it. He's not going any more for the rest of the season.
Listen, the way that the game week has panned out, I've got other things I've got to fix outside of Pulisic. So I'm pretty sure.
Are you keeping him?
Well, probably.
In which case,
probably
get rid of him. Because if Lee's keeping him, he's not going to get anything.
Got other things I've got to sort out now, thanks to your side.
What's
there
not
we
my
go.
problem? You've got to go to
Spurs-
Dele Alli because we'll be there in the crowd. You've got to have something to watch.
Spurs 0, Chelsea 2, and I'm probably going to go to the Brighton game without many Spurs assets. It's probably going to happen. Let's talk about the other game we've watched today. Watford 2, Manchester United 0. A game that I know you were saying you weren't expecting that. You were expecting United to score. I must say, I think I saw that coming a little bit. I mean, maybe not 2-0, but...
I think it was the extent of the victory. Do you know what I mean? I was expecting Watford looked better against Liverpool last week.
Yeah.
So I was expecting them to be better in this game. But I was expecting Man United, given how well they played in the last couple, you know, they were really good against Man City, they were really good against Spurs. They've been on a...
But then really average against Everton.
Yeah, but they've been on an upward trajectory.
Yeah.
That was really hard to say tonight. For a couple of weeks now, and I know they had an average game against Everton, but I expected them to go to Watford and show something.
They're one-dimensional though, aren't they? They're
Well,
one-dimensional.
Maybe they are.
Tactically, you can outfox Man United pretty easily.
I just didn't expect Watford to... I expected them to be more resilient. I expected them to work hard, and I expected them to maybe get something, but I didn't expect them to block out Manchester United altogether.
Okay.
I think it's really interesting that, you know, the Rashford and particularly Rashford, but also Martial, bandwagons have been quite strong this week, and I very, very nearly.
A lot of unhappy Rashford captainers, if that's what you're going to say.
Well, yeah, I very nearly brought in Martial this week on the basis that I was a little bit scared, a bit like what you were saying with Spurs. I was a little bit scared of this Man United game because everybody seemed to own Rashford, and everyone that I was talking to anyway owned Rashford and was captaining Rashford, and I was a bit like, oh gosh, I don't own any Man United. This game could actually kill me. So I knew that I was going to go with Mane to somebody, and it came down to a choice between Son and Martial, and I backed and forth over it all week until Thursday night when I eventually, or Friday night when I eventually decided that the stats didn't lie, and having run various comparisons between the two of them, and I went Son.
Could the answer actually not be either of them now? Could it be Paul Pogba? Paul Pogba coming back, changed that game today. I know they still got beat.
He did.
But for
He
the
was the
time
best
that he was
player.
on the pitch, he was the best player on the pitch in my opinion.
But do you trust him?
No.
And that's the problem.
Not as far as I
isn't
can
it?
throw him.
And that's my issue with Pogba is that he came back, he looked good, but I don't trust him as far as I can throw him not to do something stupid or have a row with somebody and then not play for a few weeks. I just don't trust him.
So given the Manchester United fixtures, let's have a look at these guys. So let's bring them up on the screen, courtesy of Fantasy Football Scout. What looks on paper to be a nice fixture against Newcastle coming up in 19.
Mighty Almiron to score.
Mighty Almiron to score. Then away at Burnley, which hit and miss Burnley. I can't decide whether they're going to keep a clean sheet or not. Very, very difficult. Pope, if you hold on to him, I think you got your clean sheet this week, so happy days. But it's been a long time coming. So then it's Burnley, and then it's Arsenal away. Who knows what sort of Arsenal we're going to have in 2 or 3 weeks? Could be a very different looking Mikel Arteta side. Got a clean sheet against Everton. For everything that we talk about Arsenal, how defensively inept they are, keep Everton out.
And they did have a couple of their defenders. We'll talk about them later.
Absolutely. Then a home game against Norwich for Manchester United. Then obviously away at Anfield is very difficult. So how are you interpreting those fixtures for Manchester United? Is that a run of fixtures that's making you think I must get Rashford or I must get Martial or I must get Pogba?
Well, this is okay. So here's my issue with Rashford is that I think of all of them. If you're going to own a man, and this is where my decision eventually with Martial boiled down to, is that actually I was looking for a way into the Man United team that wasn't Rashford, but I actually wanted Rashford if it was Man United. But I can't work out how you fit him in because obviously you have to own Vardy. I mean, if you don't own Vardy, what are you doing? Danny Ings, the guy. I mean,
we're going to talk about him later. Yes, so Vardy and Ings, yeah, absolutely.
And then I've got Tammy, who. The fixtures are nice. I am really wavering on him. I'm really not sure about holding him anymore. I've had a bit of enough of him, to be honest now.
Okay.
So where does he fit Rashford? Because quite honestly, I know that they've got 2 tough games coming up next. But I fancy Jimenez more than I do Rashford right now.
Yes, Jimenez I like the look of. Yeah. Okay. So I must admit, as a Rashford owner, consider selling him actually at the end of that game. Given what I've said before about
Son
how.
Got sent off.
Yeah, before Son got sent off and I got other things to do, I realised that I could make a couple of transfers this game week and put Rashford down to Danny Ings, and that would enable me to do Pulisic Pulisic to Zaha or to Mane, to Salah or Mane. But actually with the Son red card, it's thrown everything completely, and now I'm probably going to be doing Son to one of the Liverpool boys to get them straight back in. I was hoping actually to not have to do that for a week and to scout Salah and Mane and to see who against Leicester was going to do the business, and then bring whoever in I thought was going to be the best pick ahead of 2 back-to-back home games, all right, against Wolves and Sheffield United, but Liverpool home games, right? But now I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting rid of Son and bringing back either Mane, which is a transfer I did the complete opposite for this game week, or maybe I look at Salah, given that his form looks pretty good over the last few weeks. But from a Man United perspective, no, I absolutely considered selling Rashford. Absolutely considered it. Given that Danny Ings is looking in great form, Rashford is 9 million, right? It's not cheap. He's really, really not cheap. So I think he's going to get a stay of execution again because I've got the Son problem. And given that they've got Newcastle at home, that's a fixture where I can keep him and not feel too bad about it.
I mean, they should win that, and Rashford should get attacking returns in that game.
Should.
But it's one of those, isn't it? It's one of those games where you kind of think, but will he?
Newcastle, again, sort of team that on their day can just shut up shop if they want to. Same as Watford, same as Everton, same as anybody. If they want to, they can shut up shop against Man United at Old Trafford, and that will be difficult. That will be difficult for Rashford. I don't see big points for Rashford in that game, but he's probably going to stay, along with Pulisic, because both have got reasonable, nice home fixtures, and I've got other things to sort out, frankly. Other things to sort out. Watford, we're sleeping on Watford. The Renaissance is on. Pearson is back.
Okay, but who?
Well, Troy Deeney gets on the score sheet today. Ismail Sarr has looked pretty good for a few weeks now.
Okay.
These are all punts, though, right?
Yeah, because the last time I owned Deeney, do you remember what happened?
Probably a red card, knowing
Exactly.
Deeney. Yeah.
So I don't want to go there. Now, historically, Watford were always great for clean sheets. You'd always own Watford defender, whether it be Ben Foster or Holly Bass, or there would always be one of them.
3 bonus points for Foster today.
Yeah, there'd always be one of them in your FPL teams. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking that Watford defence isn't that much different from the Watford defence of seasons gone by, where we all raved about them as FPL assets. So I'm watching them because I think with the new manager bounce, if that new manager bounce can go on a little run, maybe.
You guys in the live chat. Ricky Tan, stay away from Watford, lol. Otto Mal, Troy Deeney. Are we being serious?
No, we're not. Don't own Troy Deeney, for God's sake, though.
Victor Olzeg says Kiko Femenia maybe at 4.2.
Right, well,
We're
maybe.
scraping the barrel now, aren't we?
But maybe.
Scraping the barrel.
Let's watch him for a bit longer. One performance, one win.
Played well against Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah, but one win shouldn't be enough to suddenly we go, oh, let's all get Watford assets. We've not been talking about them all year for a reason.
Very good. All right, evening game on Saturday was the clash of the second placers, the guys that are...
the World Cup again, then.
No, the second placers, the guys that are chasing the world champion, since you brought it up again. Man City 3, Leicester 1. I must admit, I thought there was more in that game for Vardy. After he scored that first goal, he does that so well, doesn't he, Vardy? And he was just preying on Otamendi. And every time that Leicester got the ball, they were looking for that outside of the foot pass, that pass round the back of Otamendi. And Vardy just latched onto it perfectly, I thought. Very, very good performance from him in the first half. But then City turned it on again. And Kevin De Bruyne, we're talking about captains for Game Week 19. We'll talk about that a bit later on. Kind of wondering whether one of those two, either Vardy or De Bruyne, you just choose one, you go with it. De Bruyne, again, in that advanced position, looking very, very good indeed. Only 4 points in FPL this week. Only 4. Could have had more. Very creative, etc., etc. I think you just need to have him, don't you? And you certainly need to have Vardy, no doubt about it. Give us a view on the game.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said. I think the thing is with games like this, and that's what makes next week's game so difficult as well, is when you've got the teams at the top playing each other, and I said it on FYI, those two teams both need to win that. They both needed to win that game. Man City especially because they needed to keep in touch with Leicester. Leicester because they needed to keep in touch with you, and they could have closed the gap while you were away. It makes those games really hard to call because you just don't know which way they're going to go. Now, when Vardy opened the score sheet, I was like, oh, hello, maybe. But then Man City have that ability to kind of switch back on, and I think it's frustrating. In a way, it's frustrating that Man City are like they are this season because in an ideal world, I'd own more than one of them because they're going to win games and they're going to score goals. But I just don't quite trust them as much as the budget I need to invest in them.
Sterling on the score sheet again this game week. Did he score? No, got an assist. So Sterling with an assist this game week. Mahrez in particular had a fantastic game, I thought. He was properly fired up for that game against Leicester, you could see. And he was cutting in from that side onto his favoured foot every single time. And the goal was absolutely textball Mahrez. Ben Chilwell is still having nightmares right now about playing Mahrez on that side.
He's got family issues, Mahrez, though, so, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, they're having a trial separation in his
How do you know these things?
She's off out with Anthony Joshua on, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't affect his performance at the weekend.
Well, maybe I think he was a bit angry.
Sensational. Maybe he's channeling that frustration.
I think he's channeled his anger into beating Jamie Vardy.
So anyway, he was absolutely fantastic. Sterling though, an assist. He's I think scored last week or maybe the week before. If you're thinking about getting out of Son and you've got a bit of money in the bank, like some of the guys on the live chat have gone, rather than Salah or Mane, Sterling. Gaz has done it. Already done it. Son to Sterling, done.
If you owned a Liverpool midfielder already, then yeah, okay. But I don't think you'd go Sterling over the Liverpool lads.
Okay.
That's my view, anyway.
Okay, all right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Bilal Qureshi, for you Son owners, Mahrez is a great differential going forward. I think he is, and every time I've watched Mahrez play, I can't believe that he doesn't play more. But there's just that rotation risk that's just frustrating, isn't it?
Christmas, isn't it?
Just frustrating if he doesn't play every week. But every time he plays, tends to do really, really well, no doubt about it. John Foley is in, he says, is Sam's Tottenham shirt in the wash or in the bin? What are you saying? Not going to comment.
It's in the wardrobe, actually.
It's in the wardrobe.
I drove all the way home from Staffordshire to watch that game.
Absolutely.
Staffordshire. Without drying my hair after I've been swimming this morning so we could get back in time for that game.
Good
and
Lord.
Look what they did.
Good Lord. Stuart Adams is saying, Son out, Salah in. I want to know, Stuart, get in the comments again.
Yeah.
Have you done it? Is it already done?
I think that's the way to
FPL
go.
and Infria is in. Infria, how are you doing?
Hey,
Good evening. How are you feeling about Arteta? I get the feel on Arteta and the new revolution that's going to happen at Arsenal. When evolution fails, go for the revolution. Go for what I consider to be a pretty risky managerial.
How many years did give him?
I don't know. I don't know what the contract looks like, but listen, I think it's a risk. It could be amazing for Arsenal.
Is it Frank Lampard Part 2?
Well, it's not.
Or is
not.
it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Part 2?
Well, listen, the difference is, let's address this now very quickly. The difference is, Arteta's never been the man in the chair. He's never been the man in the chair. Ollie went to Mulder and he's been the man in the chair. It's his club, his team, he's done it. Frank, he's done the hard yards. He's been to Derby County. He's roughed it in the Championship, the rough and tumble of the Championship. Very, very difficult league. We know when players go there to learn their trade, they come back better players. And Frank has done that, and now he's the man at Chelsea. Fair play. Stevie G, gone up to Rangers, gone up into the Scottish League. The fire and the brimstone of the Scottish Premier League.
Retires?
Probably going to come in for when Klopp retires, probably. But he's getting all of his managerial experience before he goes to the dream job that he wants. Now, I'm not saying Arteta's a bad pick because he's been under Pep's wing and he's probably had one of the best mentors in international football. But he's never been the man in the chair.
Who else is going to go there?
Never been there. So
who else wants that job? Even Ancelotti's picked Everton over them.
Well, Nimfria is saying it's going to be interesting for sure. So she's been very diplomatic, Nimfria, very diplomatic. Come on, Nim, get off the fence. What do you think? Good or bad for Arteta? Get in the comments, guys. I want to know, good or bad
I'm
Arteta
not sure about this at all.
At Arsenal. I don't really want to talk about the game too much. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Not a lot to talk about, to be honest with you. It was a dull game. It did feel as if neither team wanted to lose. So to be honest with you, they're both still watching briefs. Everton with Ancelotti coming in, anything can happen there. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And Arteta, same. I genuinely can't sit here and say I'm going to invest in either of those two sides until I start to see a bit of something.
Side note, Tips is winning in our little battle between Sigurdsson and Richarlison because Sigurdsson got booked. Okay. I mean, that is literally the excitement for those two players this week.
Good, okay.
Yeah.
Chris is saying, move on, lol. We shall, Chris.
It feels like we should.
Chris, we shall. Move on.
There's nothing really to say.
I want to talk about Villa 1 and Southampton 3, and we're going to rattle through the rest of these games because we've got a wild card to sort out, Sam. But Villa 1, Southampton 3 was not a result I was expecting. A very, very nice performance from Southampton. Now, I just thought Villa at home would show a bit of something, and I must admit, I saw the highlights on Match of the Day of that Villa, and if you're a Villa fan, get in the comments, get in the live chat, let us know how you feel about, not just the John McGinn injury and the impact that's going to have, and actually the impact on Grealish.
It's big.
I mean, Grealish could actually start seeing himself drifting back into that John McGinn position because I'm not sure they've got anybody better that can be in that position. So if I was a Grealish owner, I'd be a bit concerned about that. I'd maybe keep an eye on that. But Villa as a team, I think are in all manner of trouble right now. And so Dean Smith has been there for some time. He's earned his stripes. He's got the Villa faithful behind him, so he's getting a bit of a stay of execution, isn't he?
Yes.
But one win since game week 9. Most other managers would be under significant pressure right now. But he and John Terry seem to have. Maybe there's a few grumblings at Villa Park just starting to come out. No Mings because of injury. No McGinn now for 3 months, by the way. McGinn out for 3 months. Bad news for John McGinn. So it feels like whenever I watch a Villa game now, it's Grealish or nothing. And actually, when I saw some of the highlights on Match of the Day, there was players not putting effort in. There's players not getting out to players to shut them down quickly enough. There's not a lot of hard work going in, which in a Dean Smith John Terry team is a concern for me.
Yeah, I mean, I benched Heaton this week.
Yeah.
And played Danny Ings because I thought Southampton would win this game.
So give me a view on Southampton, then. That's my view on Villa. But Southampton, conversely, how great a value is Danny Ings right now? Absolutely sensational.
Danny Ings is absolutely, for me anyway, and this is just my opinion, but for me, if we leave Jamie Vardy aside, because I think that's a given, Danny Ings is the next best FPL forward to own in the game.
So Ritwick is saying Rashford out for Ings. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Ings.
I think that Ings is a sort of player. We've seen him. He scored against Liverpool. He scored against Spurs. All right, the goalkeepers basically gave him goals, but he has done those things. For me, he is the sort of irritating player that will score week in, week out. And as soon as you see a Southampton goal on the team sheet, your immediate thought is, it's Danny Ings again.
I like the second goal in particular. It's so instinctive. He kind of just knew where the goal was and he just turned and smashed it in. Absolutely sensational. Rochley Hammy is in. He's saying Ings, his captain this week, 77 points, went from 930k to 440k. 500,000 rank rise because of a nice captain choice like that.
And because also Danny Ings isn't that highly owned still.
Absolutely. And in a game week where everyone else, a lot of other captains would have blanked.
Yes, absolutely.
You pick Danny Ings. You take your chance, absolutely fair play, sensational stuff. Let's have a look at the Southampton fixtures just while we're here. They look like this: Chelsea away, which is tricky, but Chelsea on their day, if they're not playing that 3 at the back system,
Danny Ings will coach one anyway.
They can score. Crystal Palace at home, and Crystal Palace
problems defensively.
Well, I don't know.
They've got injuries.
They've looked very good actually defensively in recent times. They're not conceding a lot of goals, but
No,
they do have some
they've got
injuries. I grant you that. But actually, defensively look pretty good. Tottenham at home, Leicester away, Wolves home. Those aren't fixtures that scream out, I must buy Danny Ings, but the form screams out, I must buy Danny Ings.
And the price tag.
Yeah, what is he now? 6.5, 6.4, 6.3?
Cheap.
So he's
so cheap.
Not mega cheap anymore though, because he's had so many writers.
Like,
of course, he's cheaper than Rashford.
The players you're talking about downgrading, you're talking about a downgrade. So then, if you want to go Sterling or you want to go Salah or Mane, you're going to need the money from somewhere. Why not get it from Danny Ings? He's offering so much value right now.
Okay. Any other Southampton assets to look at? I don't think so. If you're going to go there, you're going to go.
No, it's Danny Ings, yeah.
Okay,
and I think, for me, Heaton's definitely at risk in my wildcard team because they're just not keeping clean sheets.
Okay. FPL Chancellor Dan is here. Dan, how are you doing? He says Ings is fixture proof. Just get him in. Don't think about it.
I think
I
agree.
Just get him in, he says. Nimfria says, I would love Ings, but I'd have to sell Son. Sell him, Nim. Sell him. Son's out for 3 games. Get rid and get the man Danny Ings in. Where else to go? A quick chat about Norwich 1, Wolves 2. A real game of 2 halves. Sorry to be cliche, but a real game of 2 halves. I thought Norwich were fantastic in the first half. Fantastic. And Todd Cantwell gets the 10 points. Is he back? I don't know. He did put in a nice performance, no doubt about it. Norwich have mixed results, no doubt about it.
But they do seem to play better when Cantwell plays.
They do seem to play better. Buendia played pretty well as well. Pookie had a couple that he should have scored first half. No doubt about it. You'd expect a striker of his calibre, given what he was doing early in the season, to bag a couple there. And on another day, Norwich are 3-0 up and Wolves are done. Which is bizarre, because then they come back into it. I don't know what Espirito Santo said at half time. Words to the effect of get your finger out your backside, because actually they come out all guns blazing. Traore went back to being an absolute in beast mode. Raul Jimenez obviously gets another goal. Consistency, he's Mr. Consistency right now, Raul Jimenez. Every single week seems to get a return of some description. Not being explosive per se, not many double-digit holes in there, but there's a lot of 7, 8, 9s. And at 7 point something, if you were thinking of, again, a Rashford downgrade and you've already got Ings, say, would you have a look at Jimenez?
Yeah. I think Jimenez is a great pick right now.
Okay. Anybody else on that Wolves side? Traore, of course, as mentioned before.
Coutinho on my bench with another assist.
Coutinho on the bench. Sad times.
Well,
sometimes.
I just-
Doherty again, pretty close to scoring from close range from what I saw.
Yeah.
Is he still expensive?
Yes, he's still expensive, and they're not keeping
6-1, right?
And they're not keeping clean sheets as often as I would want for that much money invested in a defender.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the Norwich fixtures because of the two. I think there's actually a lot of FPL picks from both of those sides. So let's have a look at the fixtures for the two of them. Norwich reads like this: Aston Villa away, which is actually suddenly quite a nice fixture. The way that Villa are playing, the pressure from the crowd at Villa Park, I think that Norwich go in there, they can score goals against that Villa side. Can they keep them out as well? I think potentially they can.
Yeah.
Because it's taken a worldie from Grealish to score this week. So potentially that's a nice fixture for Norwich. Back-to-back home games then against Spurs and Crystal Palace, away at United and home to Bournemouth. So actually, that Villa game is nice. Then it's 3 of the next 4 at home to teams that can concede, no doubt about it. Crystal Palace, of the 3, probably look the most defensively solid in recent times. But Norwich looking all right for investment, I would say. Looking all right. And you're not going to get quite so much rotation with those guys as perhaps you would with some other teams. Wolves, for their part, have got Man City and Liverpool back-to-back next, which is very, very hard. Then they go away to Watford. Now, given what we talked before about Pearson and the way that they're tightening up, he's obviously gone in there with a remit to tighten it up a little bit. Those are 3 tricky fixtures. Home to Newcastle, away to Southampton. So I think Wolves are a bit of a hold right now. I don't think I'd be bringing Jimenez in ahead of those two.
No, I think after that Liverpool game, their scope.
Watford, Newcastle, Southampton looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it looks better.
So it gets a hold for a couple of games.
Okay, very good. So Norwich 1, Wolves 2. Maybe just pick on one more game. Let's see. No 8 points for Gaeta this week. Can you believe that?
No, but Hendo did get 12.
Can you believe that? All right. I don't even want to talk about this assist. It's ridiculous. I don't actually think there's much to talk about in this game. I don't think there's much to talk about.
Double Sheffield defence working absolute dream again. Thank you, guys.
Double Sheffield defence for you is looking very, very good. I don't know what else to say about this game. McGoldrick, absolute sitter from absolutely nowhere. Morpie. I like Morpie.
I like him.
Nice
I
player.
like him. I like him.
5.8 in the game. 1 chalked off or offside, I think, during the game.
I like him,
be
but
good?
again, yes, but he's a
But
forward.
Danny Ings.
And he's
basically.
a forward, and how's he going to fit? Where's he going to go?
Okay, very good. Well, listen, I ain't spending any time talking about Henderson's assist because it's frankly a disgrace.
What?
That's it. That's all I want to talk about. We haven't got time for anything else, Sam. We have not got time
We covered them
for
all,
anything
didn't
else.
we?
We've Bournemouth
Just Bournemouth,
0, Burnley 1, and I saw a stat that said there was 5 shots in that game, 1 on target. Not which team do you think that was? Both teams, Sam. 5 shots, 1 on target from both teams, 1 goal.
Sorry,
Absolute
hang
rubbish.
on. Both the sides
Combined,
had 5
5 shots. 1 on target
waste
combined.
of 90 minutes of your life if you went to that game.
Unless, of course, you're a Nick Pope owner.
Oh,
Then you'd be reasonably happy. But there you
yeah,
go.
but blimmin' Chris Wood. Is it Chris Wood probably? Popping up right at the end with a goal that wiped out my clean sheet for...
Jay Rodriguez,
Whatever.
David O scored.
I don't know, that's how
who
little I
cares?
care.
Who cares?
Took out my clean sheet and I was like, you're done with me.
Move on, as the guys in the live chat say. Move on.
Boring.
So here we go. Let's talk about our Manager of the Month league for our patrons in December.
who's
So
winning?
Jemima is still up there. So Jemima was first last week. She's still up there in first. Pretty damn good game week at 54 points. Very solid. Very, very solid indeed.
Nice.
In fact, I would go so far as to say very good game week this game week because it's been a weird week. We knew it was going to be weird. We've had captain blanks everywhere. We've had Son being sent off. We've had all sorts going off. So unless you've gone rogue and captain Ings, which some of you guys have been doing,
I wish I'd done that.
then Jemima with 54 is a very nice score indeed.
Well done.
Victor, who is in tonight, Victor, how are you doing? Very nice score, 55 actually.
Nice.
So creeps up 1 point on Jemima, 1 point closer, but there's still a 10-point gap at the top.
10 points. How many weeks we got left? 2?
What have we got? Boxing Day.
Weekends.
And then the weekend,
So
and then
2.
we're into the new year, aren't we? So 2 more game weeks to go.
So he's got 10 points to make in 2 weeks.
Doable.
It's definitely
Absolutely
doable.
doable for Victor. Gareth Roberts in 3rd, Tony Holm in 4th, Tim in 5th, Antonio in 6th, and Dylan Naidu down in 7th. Now, the likes of Antonio and Dylan and Tim, a lot of work to do, Sam. A lot of work. They're on 255, 253 and 252, so about 30-odd points gap there in 2 game weeks. Not impossible. We've seen it
Triple
happen
captain.
before.
Bench boost.
It's tough, but it could happen. So Jemima and Victor, and about 10 to 12 points back again. Gareth, it's between the top 3 in my opinion, with Jemima very much with 10 points in the driving seat.
I quite like this long month stuff. You know,
Good,
when there's lots of game weeks because
Lots to play for.
the strategy is really interesting.
Absolutely,
It's
lots to
totally
play for.
different when there's
Lots
only
to play
3
for.
games.
So there we go. So a couple of game weeks left in the December Manager of the Month. Now listen, guys, the December Manager month is closed. You do not try and join the December Manager month. It is closed because if you're having a really, really good month and you think, I'll just join Lee and Sam's Patreon League right at the end when I'll just go and beat it and because I'm having a really good month.
Yeah, we don't like that.
What we like to do is we like to
fair.
give it a couple of weeks in and then we'll close it. Right? Get it closed. So it's fair to the people that have been there since the first game week of that month. So December is closed. However, January's Manager month will be opening about this time next week, I reckon. So if you want to take part in our January Manager of the Month, go join our Patreon, patreon.com/FPL Family. All the links are in the description below. Go check it out. The league code for January's Manager of the Month will be live, I would say, in the next week or so. So go check us out. See what you think of us on Patreon. You get all the extra stuff that you get for being a patron, access to our Slack channel, access to Ohana podcast as well.
I might even treat you all to a little bonus Ohana podcast this
bonus
week.
Ohana?
Because I'm wildcarding and it's before Friday, so
okay.
Deadline on Wednesday. I might treat you to a Christmas
Final
Eve
wildcard.
Ohana wildcard update.
There we go, patrons. Look out for that. Look out for that. Bonus Ohana podcast with Sam's wildcard team on Christmas Eve.
You can
Look
have
out
a bonus
for that,
Christmas Eve podcast.
Look out for that. And of course, if you do take part in our Manager of the Month competitions, our mini leagues, you can win amazing signed prizes from our partner kickingtheballs.com. So you can see the wonderful White Hart Lane signed by Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli. You can win things like this, which is the signed Liverpool Champions of Europe shirt.
They don't make a world one.
They don't make a world one yet, but I'm sure if we asked, they would. Champions of Europe, 6 times, signed by all the team. Loads and loads of good stuff. Kicking the Balls with 2 S's, kickingtheballs.com. Links in the description below. After the live stream, go check them out. Really great stuff. Really great stuff. Don't know. We'll find out sooner rather than later.
Is she in the Slack?
Yes, I think she is now.
I'm going to go and ask her after
this. There she is. Do you mind me getting the Slack? Tell us who you support. Let's have a look at the teams. Right, 43 points for me this game week, guys. 43, which is proper treading water stuff again. It's bang average, to say the least. Maybe 1 or 2 points above the overall average. Maybe a couple of points below the top 1k average, according to Fantasy Football Fix. Pretty average. I've gone. It's actually a green arrow. It's not as good a green arrow as I had this time yesterday because I had Charlie Taylor and I had Cantwell and I was actually having a pretty good week. And
you were so pleased with Charlie Taylor.
I was so pleased with Charlie Taylor.
You were so pleased with him. We were sat there having dinner. He was so happy about Charlie Taylor.
So good. So I was like, well, Charlie Taylor, Lundstrom, of course, coming in. I had almost Son to play. I had my Chelsea players to play. I had Rashford to come in. I thought, here we go. Going to be a super Sunday and it's going to really build on my good Saturday that I had. So the green arrow yesterday, would you believe, I was up to 52k. 52k. And then this Sunday happened. Son flipping gets sent off. Almost swore there. Son got sent off. Rashford with the 2-pointer. Of course, Abraham with the 2-pointer as well. So net points this Sunday, 2. Which means that actually my 52 is not 52. It's back down to 83. Which is up from 90k last week. So I'm up from 90k last week.
And you're still in the cup?
Still in the cup, which is nice.
Yeah.
And you know what? 18, the game week was always going to be weird, wasn't it?
But also
it was always going to be weird.
Yes, and it shows you still how close it all is, that you can go from 52 to 83k.
Yes.
Because most people that would have owned those players, there's no rogue players out there doing really well that lots of people own, if you know what I mean.
No, I just don't know how I could do who really scored any points today? Willian. Not that many Williams out there, is there?
And the Chelsea defenders.
Maybe some Tomoys out there. I don't know, but listen, 83k, I'll take it. We're over game week 18. I've made a massive mistake because my transfer all week, guys, in the game week 18, I was going to bench Mane and I was going to do Pulisic to Grealish. That's the honest truth. And if the guys in our
going to do it all week,
in our Patreon will contest that, because I did a whole Ohana podcast on how I was going to get rid of Pulisic, bring Grealish in, and captain Grealish. That's what I was going to do. I was going to take a punt. And all this Spurs talk, not just from you, but from the general community, there's people doubling and trebling up. I'm thinking, oh my God. I'm thinking Spurs.
And we're going next week.
And we're going next week. So I'm thinking, right, I want all this talk. Spurs are going to kill me. Plus, I want Son to watch when we actually go to my first time. I've been to the new Spurs stadium with our little boy. I thought, great, I'm going to take my son to see Son. It's perfect. Can't get any better than that.
Sing that Ice Cream Sunny song.
And then he gets sent off. What an absolute muppet. So, yeah, listen, mistakes were made. It is what it is. I will be rectifying that with my transfer for game week 19.
Just be reversing it.
Son will go and it'll maybe be Mane back. I actually think I might go Salah.
No, stop it. Because you know that's what I'm doing as part of my wild card.
Might be going Salah.
Why do you have to ruin my life?
I might be going Salah. That's a bit harsh.
I was doing it to be different to you.
So listen, anyway, 43 points could have been different, but listen, captain Son, what are you going to do? Charlie Taylor, good lad. Cantwell, good lad. Apart from that, not a lot going on. No 10-pointer from Gaeta, very disappointing. Lundstrom with a 6-pointer, which again, disappointing for Lord Lundstrom. We expect 9 or 10 from him, don't we? So anyway, 43 points, 83k. We'll move on. Weird game week. It's under the belt. It's done. 52 points though, which is a pretty damn good game week for you. Propped up by some ridiculous assist from your goalkeeper. And of course, a nice Danny Ings haul. What's the tale of the tape? Tell us about it. Pretty good.
I'm so... right.
You can't be frustrated with that. You've got a green arrow up to 10k.
I know that you're all going to go, oh, shut up, Sam.
Shut up, Sam.
Just bear with me a minute, because I'm really annoyed about this week.
Shut up, Sam.
No, just shush a minute. Because yesterday, I was at one point yesterday, before the Kelly clean sheet went, I was sitting at 6k and I was like, this is an absolute blinding week. My cup opponent was getting smashed out the park. And I was so happy.
Are you out the cup?
I was so happy with my life. At the end of Saturday, I was at... Just a minute. I was at 9.2k or 9.3k and I was thinking, right, okay, this is great. I just look at my cup opponent. He had Tammy to play and Jorginho potentially coming off his bench and Dunk coming off his bench with 2. So I was like, right, so Tammy, they're going to cancel each other out. So Ali and Son, all they have to do is get 3.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Didn't happen.
Idiots.
Right, okay.
They didn't.
So nevertheless...
So I've gone out the cup. I've gone back down to just outside the top 10k, so I'm at 10.2k, I think. So
but at some stage over this weekend, on Saturday night, you were at about 7k, weren't you?
6k. 6k on Saturday.
6k.
It was about 10 to 5, just before the Palace clean sheet went. I was at 6k, and I was so happy with it. Because if you remember back a couple of weeks ago, I'd had that terrible week where I'd gone doubled my rank and it was just a nightmare. So to have gone last week and taken it all back again, and then to have had the boost of it on Saturday. So today, I think because it's Spurs that have let me down as well, that's what's really got me.
Right, the Luke Guy 7 says, oh Sam, you're smashing it, cheer up. Joe Finley, about to pour you, I got 30 points, get your violin out.
Joe, you can't have both, Joe. You can't have your team winning and do well at FPL.
As he says, how many times is Sam going to bench Moutinho, for goodness sake? He's always got points on the bench.
I know, every week. And I've played Zaha, who's an absolute... I put in Zaha in the Richarlison corner.
Joe Finley Banner, my cup opponent had Marcus Alonso off his bench. So jammy. So jammy. So listen,
I'm out the cup.
52 points. Stop whinging. Absolutely great game week score. Over rank of 10k, which
and tomorrow
I
feel good about it. It's just today because Spurs have let me down, and that's cost me it's cost me an FPL as well. But
very good.
But it's still a 3k green arrow.
Yes. Which is good.
Which is good.
All right. Well, listen. We're going to talk now about wild cards. Now. Where should we go? We should go back here. Now, this is your team as it stands. This is the team, right? Would you like to hit the wildcard button right now, live on FPL Family?
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're not doing it.
I'm not doing it, no. Because I won't hear the end of it. Right, here you go. I'm going to move the technology over to you and you can hit the wildcard button. There you go. Excellent. To activate your wildcard, you must be making enough proposed terms that the points will be deducted. Right, so you need to make transfers first. Okay. How long have you been playing this game?
Well, you just told me to hit the button.
Right. Go on then, what would you change?
Where's the mouse? There.
There's the mouse. Son out. Yes, got it. Okay, very good. Who else?
Well, just for a minute. Let's... Who else is going to... Well, waste of space.
See if you can talk us through it, because otherwise it gets a bit boring for the viewers.
He's going to go as well.
Heaton gone. Right, okay, good.
Right. Those were definitely going. Zaha might go. I need to think about what I'm doing with him.
Right.
Rico potentially going to go as well.
Right. Probably. So who are you putting in for Son and for Heaton?
Well, so Son is going for Salah.
Salah in. Excellent. Add player. Boom.
So he's done. Now, how much does that leave me with?
6.6 for a keeper.
How much have whoever I like. So I think
Gaeta.
Yeah, but if I have Gaeta, I don't want Kelly.
Right. Okay.
So he could
double
go.
Palace defence could happen. No.
No one wants a double Palace defence.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
So yeah, in terms of defend, see, I do quite fancy that look of Schmeichel, to be honest, but not versus Liverpool next.
Rico out with this suspension.
Yeah, probably.
Go on then. So much pressure. You said you would do this tonight. It'd be no problem. Now the pressure's on.
Well, yeah, but I need
at least make a goalkeeper transfer.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Right. Can't believe you're going Gaeta. So copying me.
Yeah, but I actually need to look at the fixtures, don't I? Well, let's do Gaeta for now. Because then we can actually hit the button, can't we?
Go for it.
Because I can always take him.
Anybody else in that team you're definitely getting rid of? Who else is definitely going?
Rico and Zahara, I'm 99% they're going.
Doing it now?
I don't have any value in them, do I? Do I have any value in him?
6.8.
Yeah, oh God. How's he got a price rise? What a waste of space. I'm sure he's going to go.
Right, hit the wild
but
card
let's
button.
put the wild card on for now.
Come on, it's at the top.
No, but I've got to make the transfers first.
Okay. Play wild card. Boom. Excellent.
There you go.
You are proposing to play your wild card. Confirm transfers and play wild card. Wild card is active. The wild card is active. Very, very good indeed.
Bye, son. Nice to have you for a week.
Anything else you want to do on there while we're here? Because this is live transfers. Or have you got to put some thought into it?
Well, I need to look at the fixtures, but because there are definitely some issues that are still there. So Rico's an issue. Zahara is definitely an issue. Zahara, I'm sort of off. He's a difficult one because, as we've talked about before, his fixtures are nice.
West Ham at home next.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Kelly, I don't want if I've got Gaeta. I'm probably going to stick with Gaeta, so that means Kelly will go. Now, I need to think about what kind of defender I'm going to get in its place. There's also potentially going to be I am sorely tempted to get Robbo rather than Trent at the back.
Okay. Omar Maghrabi is saying Foster's good. Yeah, listen, the Pearson revolution is on, so could we go there?
I do. I just need to think about the fixtures over the next... Well,
Optimus Premier is saying Rico out. Josh is saying Rico gone. Get rid.
Yeah, I think Rico will go, but I don't have anyone to immediately put in his place because I haven't thought about defenders yet.
And then JG7U says Rico misses one game. You want to play him anyway in that game. So suspension is no reason to remove him on a wild card. There we go. Sam, you can always do more transfers later. Don't let Lee pressure you into making a live mistake, Aidan Rowland is saying.
Exactly. So he does this.
The Luke guy then says, Sam, only going for Gator so Lee doesn't catch up. She copies me all the time, Luke guy.
Catch up? I'm not worried about him catching up.
DUK says Cantwell.
Yeah, no, Cantwell's one I'm thinking
Zaha
about.
for Cantwell?
Could happen, yeah. But Lee's got him, so I'm put off with that.
Optimus Premier, Bulldog? Yes or no?
I can't have 3.
Treble Sheffield United's a bit much.
I mean, that's a bit excessive.
It's a bit much. Nymphoria saying keeping Tammy, question mark?
No, not sure about Tammy yet.
Ooh, okay.
I am really thinking about losing Tammy.
Taron KP, how about a Newcastle defender? They're getting attacking returns, the Newcastle defenders.
They are. I think Tammy might stay for 2 weeks. He might be my transfer out in 2 weeks' time because I really fancy Jimenez, but I don't want him for Liverpool.
All right. Grealish better than Zaha, guys are saying?
Anyone's better than Zaha.
Marcus Alonso's back and on the menu if Chelsea stick with 3-4-3.
I can't.
You can't.
I can't.
Alex Wick says, get Almiron, for goodness sake, get Almiron.
I mean, that's almost as bad as getting Richarlison, isn't it?
So there we go, guys. I thought we were going to get more than that, to be honest. I thought.
What did you think I was going to do?
I thought it was going to be live transfers galore. But instead, the guys are going to have to go to @FPL Family on Twitter and Instagram to keep up to date with your wildcard. But there we go, guys. Live wildcard activation.
I'll keep you up.
Salah is in, Son is gone, and you've changed Heaton to Gaeta. That was groundbreaking stuff, to be honest.
It's nice to have Salah back.
It's a bit of comfort you get from having Salah.
Yeah, I mean, I've missed that, to be honest.
Missed it.
Because I had Mane, didn't I, up until a few weeks ago. So I feel nice having Salah back.
Micah McClatchy, PVA, Sam?
Oh.
DUK, Mount for sure.
No, not Mount.
Gavin Gould, Madison is a must.
No.
No, none of these things. The mighty Almiron, Optimus Premier saying.
What?
How about Dina, Miguel C is saying?
No.
Okay. Reece James against Southampton because Aspie's out injured, Kumar is saying. Feels a bit short term, potentially. But listen, lots to discuss on the wildcard. That is just the start of the wildcarding over the next few days.
I have a wildcard.
Now,
oh gosh,
two ways
be active on Christmas Day, that's a problem.
2 ways you can find out about Sam's final wildcard before Game Week 19 kicks off. One is go follow @FPL Family over on Instagram because we will be live at the game talking to none other than James from Planet FPL, who's also going to the game. We're going to hook up with him. He also, I don't know if he's pressed the button yet, but he is also going to be on a wild card. So we're going to be doing a double live stream, whatever you want to call it. James and Sam both talking through their wild cards pre-match at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
How blimmin' exciting.
That is going to be good, guys. So get over to Instagram right now, as soon as we finish, Instagram @FPL Family over on Instagram. See James and Sam reveal their wildcards live at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'll be holding the camera probably. I won't have anything to do with this because I've just done Santa Salah and that'll be it.
Mummy!
We will get probably a cameo from our 5-year-old as well, but you're going to see James and Sam reveal their wildcards. We're going to make that happen. We've already said to James, do you want to do it? He said,
He's up
yes.
for it.
We're going to make it happen. That's the first way. The second way, patreon.com/FPL Family. There will be a special Ohana podcast on Christmas Day. I think we're going to release it. You're going to do it Christmas Eve, but it'll be released Christmas Day.
What a nice present.
That is our present to you as patron, Sam's wildcard, which I'm hoping will have more to it than just I've taken Son out for Salah and done a keeper change.
Oh, it will. It
Good.
will.
Good.
But I'd need to look at the fixtures and all of that properly. I'm quite annoyed at life at the moment.
You need to calm down.
I need to
digest.
I just need to. It's done. There'll be lots.
Okay.
But it needs to be. I just need to think it through. I don't want to make any hasty. I hate the world because Spurs have let me down decisions.
Okay, very good. So there it is, guys. A special Ohana podcast on Christmas Day from Sam with a wildcard update, and then the final reveal on Instagram at FPL Family with James from Planet FPL, who'll also be revealing his wildcard. Be interesting to see whether there's any differences.
And the good thing is,
who's in, who's out.
It'll be, and we will be able to actually do it before the deadline because it's the lunchtime kickoff, and therefore the deadline for
Boxing Day with a beer. James FPL Family.
And a curry pie.
James and FPL Family. Curry pie. Wildcards.
What more could you want?
What more could you want from that is an FPL. Like, I don't know what the word for that is. That's just an FPL explosion of FPL going on there on Instagram.
The only thing we could want is for Suj to be there, but he's probably going to be.
He'll be crying into whoever West Ham lose to that day, I would absolutely imagine. If that wasn't enough, you're going to see even more of us, for goodness sake, even more of us. Not just on Fantasy Football Scout over the course of the next week, but we're going to be on, I'm going to be on FPL FYI, filming it tomorrow, going to go out on Tuesday, I think. Normally, I think it's Tuesday it's going out. So look out for myself and James and Rambo on FPL FYI. Rambo and I are going to go absolutely in. We're going to be #unbearables.
He's
the champions of the world.
And he's got Danny Ings with a brace.
He's got Danny Ings with a brace. He's got champions of the world. He's going to be absolutely unbearable, and I love it. And we're also going to be on the FPL show that night as well, on Monday night. So if you can tune in to whatever channel you watch, if you're in outside of the UK, you can watch it live on beIN Sports or Optus or any of those places. But if you are in the UK, you can obviously catch it on the Premier League website and on the app the next day. So,
FPL show on a Monday night.
FPL show on Monday night. I've got a feeling, don't want to give any spoilers, but I think there might be a couple of pretty dodgy looking Christmas jumpers going on.
Excuse me, I look brilliant in a Christmas jumper.
Could be a couple of, look out for some dodgy Christmas jumpers there. That's it for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Loads and loads we didn't even discuss, but loads that we could have talked about. If you're up in the 50s and the 60s this game week, absolutely sensational. If you're up in the 70s, bravo, that is a hell of a game week. For those of you that are down in the 30s and the 40s, worry not. Game week 18 was always going to be weird. Onwards and upwards to game week 19. Good luck in game week 19. We won't be doing any more live streams until after game week 19. So this time next week, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Usual slot.
Game week 20.
After game week 20.
Because it's 19 midweek and then...
We're going to have a lot to talk about, aren't we?
Oh, wow.
Hell of a lot to talk about this time next week, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Leave us a like before you go. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and the little notify bell so that you know when we're live next. But it's Sunday night, 8 p.m. We'll see you on either FPL FYI or we'll see you on the FPL show. See you this time next week.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Cheers, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye.
We've not finished.
What are we doing?
We haven't done the polls. The guys are like, polls. We'll do the polls. That's the first time that's ever happened. That's the first time I've actually finished the show and then come back.
I mean... I don't want to say you've got one job, but...
This whole World Champions thing's gone to my head. It's gone to my head. Guys, we're back with the polls.
Welcome back
into the polls.
to this episode of FPL Family. My name's Sam, this is Lee.
I'm Lee, this is Sam. Very nice to see you.
Presented a whole parallel universe.
Hundreds of people have already left. Thank you to the guys who have already left. Let's get in the polls, for goodness sake. Let's get these polls done. Which band makes you most nervous, Sam? Lundstram, Sterling, Grealish or Trent? Don't think about it too much. Lundstram. 46% Lundstram. 23 Trent, 22 Grealish and only 6% Sterling. So yes, Lord Lundstram, if he gets booked in 19.
I forgot the
He's absolutely done. I just looked over to the live chat and people were just like, polls. I forgot about the polls.
They've spent their time answering them.
I know. You can only bring one of these back for 19. We know the answer for you. It's Salah, right? Not Mane. 66% going Salah. So 2/3 of you going Salah. Only a third going Mane. How easily we forget the Senegalese and his form. Absolutely sensational season he's having.
Ankle's fixed.
Goodness me. Wilf Zaha.
Yo, get rid of
Buy,
the
hold
man.
or sell.
Bye-bye.
Interesting, because at the beginning of the stream and when you were talking on your wild card, you were a bit undecided.
No, I've had enough of him. I have had enough.
Sell. 56% saying sell. 39% saying hold, and only 4% saying buy. 56%.
You know he's going to score, don't you, next
getting
week?
rid. Game week 19, captain Sam, Abraham, Son stroke Ali, so Ali, Rashford or stroke Martial, Salah stroke Mane or Vardy.
Well, I'm going.
There's loads I could put in there. Didn't put any City players in
It's
there.
Ali.
It's Ali.
Well, because I'm there. I have to captain someone I'm watching. It's the rule.
Now, these results are really interesting because there is really no clear winner here. Abraham actually is top with 26%, but only 26%. Salah and Mane come in next at 23%. Ali then comes in at 18%. Sorry,
Where's Vardy?
Vardy at 20%, sorry. Ali at 18%. Rashford, Martial at 10%. So that is another game week,
I tell you
isn't
what,
it?
if that is
one.
reflective of the way the game goes, this is going to be another bonkers game week.
Another bonkers game week. That is it. That's definitely it this time.
I'll be going this time.
That's definitely it this time. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
We'll see you this time next week. Cheers.
Bye, guys.